Hello, everybody, and welcome to Aftermath. It's been a while. I missed you guys. Super happy and excited to be back. It is 7 p.m. Eastern, and we are live. Join us this evening for a casual chat about the season so far, maybe some channel updates, con news. Who knows what might be coming up with all things Realmsmith. Tonight, we will be discussing our premiere episode of season 3 of Tides of Wildemount, our own homebrew campaign set in the world of Critical Role that is supported by our wonderful Discord community. We will also be talking about our new show, Champions of the Realm. Stay tuned until the end for a sneak peek into next week's episode featuring Deborah Ann Wall and Alicia Marie. Also stay tuned at the end because we are going to be doing a giveaway for the weekly sets of dice for the Champion of the Realm bracket predictions. More info on that later. Here comes your weekly spoiler warning. There will be spoilers tonight for both of the shows, along with some probably minor spoilers for the first 2 seasons of Critical Role. If they are going to come up, we will give you some fair warning. We don't want to spoil anything for you guys. If you're watching live and you have any questions about Tides of Wildemount, our new Discord setting, or Champions of the Realm, please enter your question into the chat, prefaced by the word question in all caps, and the moderators will gather them up for me. So thanks, guys. Catch Tides of Wildemount Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we play live. Join us as we follow the seditious six as they journey deeper into the continent of Wildemount with an oracle in tow. And seriously, no more secrets, right? No promises. You can also watch the premieres of the episodes of Champions of the Realm on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you can't watch live, the VODs for both of these shows are available on YouTube almost immediately. If you like what you see, consider following and subscribing and hitting the buttons and all that jazz. As usual, I'd like to give a huge thanks to our sponsor, Forged Gaming Company. They are a really, really awesome company with really quality tabletop accessories. So check out their amazing merch at forgedgaming.com, and they have been generous enough to provide us with a discount code. So if you're interested in some new dice trays or some clacky math rocks, enter code RealmSmith20, all one word at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order. All right, with all that said, I would like to introduce our illustrious and wonderful guests this evening. Joining us tonight are Jason Azevedo and Omega Jones. Welcome. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
What up?
Glad to have you both with us this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We have lots of fun things to discuss. As usual, feel free to jump in and ask your own questions. I love to hear what questions you might have for each other. So I figure a good place to start is talking about Champions of the Realm. This has been something that has been a long time coming now and has been greatly anticipated. It took a lot of work. It's still taking a lot of work. Some of us are minorly concerned for Joel. But he's going to be okay. We love you, Joel. So how are you guys feeling after months of anticipation and then finally getting to see these first couple episodes come out? How does that feel?
Omega. First.
You go.
Okay. Fan-dang-tastic. Going into this thing, it was super, what's the word I'm looking for?
Stressful.
No,
Awful.
all those things. Thank you. It was just, we bit off a lot more than we could chew, or we thought we could chew, and I think it was very, it's been a lesson in what is possible, and we're super thankful and happy with the final result. Joel and I have talked about the fact that there's nothing in the show that we wanted to get in that we didn't. Which is crazy. That never happens. And so it's almost pretty much exactly how I imagined it would be in its final form, which is pretty crazy. So we're happy and excited. And, again, just sitting around talking about getting Bruce Buffer and Uriah Faber involved, and all of a sudden, we're in studio and they're there, and it's just nuts. So it's just been an incredible lesson and journey and adventure, and we've learned lots of lessons learned, and people in the comments have absolutely made sure we knew those lessons. and we're learning from those, and we're taking them to heart and building an even better experience next go around. So we're just super excited for the future. And I mean, it's only episode 2, so we still have 5 more to go. Omega.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being there those shoot days and just just vibing with people. At the end of the day, we're filming during COVID, so we have to be safe and all those things. But it was still nice that knowing our safeties and knowing that we were doing what we needed to do, that we can get together and pull this off. Yeah, it was a blast seeing it come to life now. Getting to see this little butt of a human, not kobold, just thrive in his element. Well, thrive.
Barely survive.
Barely surviving. But no, it was a great time, and honestly, it excites me because now, humans a part of me. So who knows what might be for the future with human.
You mentioned a second ago Uriah. It was really fun to see Uriah, who is from an entirely different nerddom, obviously, and he really took to it, and it looked like he was having a lot of fun learning about all the different classes and stuff. Yeah, they just did such a good job. Omega, I'm curious how you feel about the outcome of your bout. How you feeling?
I mean, that's not really a way to feel other than I feel satisfied. I feel it was good entertainment. And things happen. I obviously have some thoughts about realizing some things that I missed. But it happens. I actually made a post about it, not about it, but about situations on Twitter yesterday, and I simply just said, when it comes to D&T, sometimes you have abilities that could have drastically changed the tide of a battle, but you forget in the moment. This is a human thing, and it's okay. Yeah. So it's okay that things got mistaken, and it's okay that some, rules got, things happen. But at the end of the day, I had a good time. It was a good show. Human got to do what human does. And honestly, that's kind of in his story, too. He's not meant to be the one in the front fighting everything and winning. He's the one who sneaks around and grabs the shiny thing before running. Yeah. So, it's fine. It's fine. That's how I'm at. I'm like, it was fine. It was a good time.
Yeah. If you had to redo that bout differently, what are some of the couple major things that you would do differently?
Remember that shield negates all magic missiles, period. Remember that some things do have a distance, and when you're not in the distance, they don't matter. So that natural 20 that you rolled on one of your attacks would have went through. A lot of stuff. Not cast sleep on the elf. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that would have been different, but sitting in those what ifs makes no sense. No. Because honestly, the unfortunate truth is, and it's just speaking honestly, the what ifs would have changed the battle, and I would have won. So, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's not that I would have won, but I had things I wouldn't have had points against me because I would have negated some of the stuff, right? So it's fine. It's okay. So yeah, it's not really a thing I would change because it made for good entertainment, And at the end of the day, Human came out as the adorable one who people love. So
yes, 100%.
Your guys' role play was really, really fun to watch. It seemed like you had a really good dynamic.
I specifically love the fact that, yes, Human is a human, and if you say otherwise, his lawyer, Jalaxel, will come for you. But at the end of the day, he is...
There was laugh out loud moments during that. I was watching it with Mel, and she laughed out loud when that happened. She was laughing hardcore when you were talking about lawyering up.
But, I loved being able to be what's his dang name? Zarang is the one with the crossbow where Yasa is in the middle doing some magic-y stuff. I love being able to play with the 3 kobolds within that. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, from my perspective, so many calls missed in the first 2 episodes so far. And when you're DMing a live stream or even DMing at home, you miss things, and people are like, "Oh, it's no problem. We're just fighting, fictitious monsters." But when you have 2 people facing off against each other, we're learning a lot about the importance of rules as written versus all that kind of stuff. So we're learning lessons about how to run the combat for this next time around. That is much more kind of to the letter of the law and a lot more kind of finite. And even then, D&D is so subjective, and there's so many rules and so many things that affect those rules that sometimes it's difficult to. I mean, again, when you're sitting in that moment, I'm thinking about 5 different things, like every DM does, that you end up missing. Oh, wait, they cast 2 action spells or whatever, or 2 bonus action spells, or that was supposed to be reaction, it wasn't reaction, and all this kind of stuff that happens. We're all kind of learning, and I think all of us had made calls that would have changed in that moment. That would have absolutely have changed the result, and there are calls moving forward in this season that's the case too, But just like live sports or live MMA, refs do miss stuff sometimes, and you roll with it, and you try to do your best despite all that stuff as well. And so, this is more about that. There's no way, and I'm going to promise everybody out there, there's no way I'm going to remember every rule and catch everything. And we can all get better at it. And I will get better at it, but it's tough. It's really tough. And frankly, inside baseball, I knew I was putting a target on my back when I decided to. When we were like, "Hey, hold my beer, let's do some PvP D&D." You get a spotlight kind of pointed on that, because we are blazing trails, and we are breaking ground here in a way that hasn't been done before. So, again, this is our first go around, and we're learning a lot of things, and we're super, super excited. Sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
It's really nothing.
I got this like that, and then say nothing.
I got distracted. I apologize. When you shouldn't multitask and you start to multitask. I started playing Wordle.
Yeah.
And I got the word on the third try. Just because of it's like, I'm just curious if it's this. So that's it. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really important to remember also is that it is so much easier to remember all the rules when you're sitting at your house, probably by yourself, watching a show. It's so much easier to remember everything. I know when I'm a DM, I cannot for the life of me remember that one of my players is paralyzed, and I come back and I'm like, "It's your turn," and they're like, "I'm paralyzed," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, it's not your turn anymore."
Yeah. Like Snow is blind. I forget every episode after three seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that PvP in itself is pretty unusual when it comes to D&D.
Yeah.
And so that kind of leads me to a question for you, Jay, of how did you decide on those initial matchups?
Yeah, good question. We wanted to make sure that they were as balanced as possible, in the sense that we didn't want to put, especially for our first go around, we didn't want to put a true barbarian against a true caster, for example. And again, we thought people have ideas and have had ideas about who's going to win certain things, and we were surprised across the board the entire tournament. There were things that we learned about classes that we didn't think we knew, or that we thought we knew that we didn't, regarding how balanced things are and how balanced things aren't. So one thing was really important, which is going to be incredibly important again next season, is chemistry between the two players. And so it always helps. Grudge matches are really awesome. You saw that with the first episode, where Matt and Nora really kind of have a great relationship and are friends in real life and know each other and have played with Realmsmith. So all 3 of us had a really good rapport, and you can see that kind of stepping into it, and you can see that coming through. And that like healthy, fun sort of banter. And then next episode, you'll see 2 people who really care about each other, and it's basically like a big combat love hug. And so there's a lot of things that go into that, but part of it is balance, part of it is chemistry, and then there's a lot, but those are the main 2 things. Yeah.
I'm wondering, is it just kind of a coincidence that there's so many multi-classed characters, or was that intentional?
No, it was coincidence. We kind of chose a cast based on people who were part of Realmsmith and people I knew and people who agreed to do it. We asked a bunch of people, and some people couldn't do it because of scheduling or whatever. No, so we didn't pick necessarily based on completely on the character. And what classes necessarily were there. We were more about, and again, and I've said this before, most D&D streams, the more the player can hide themselves in their character, the better, right? Like the least you see the player, the better. We wanted to flip the script, right? We wanted to say, wait a second, no. We want to spotlight the players. It's the players piloting these characters. And so we focused really on the personalities of the players who were coming to the table and what they brought to the table first and foremost. So that was not totally random, but was less consequential than actually who was at the table.
True. Got a question from one of our wonderful audience members. Hello, everyone. We've got a question from Mr. Ravenwind. That one's always hard for me to say. The last 2 weeks of Champions has been awesome. Thanks, Mistra. Hugh Mann's voice reminded me of Elmo. Was that intentional?
Okay. If it went to Elmo, then I'll take it. You know, balsamic vinegar. That's been a big thing that's happening with him. No, I didn't go to Elmo. The honest to God truth when it came to my kobold voice and my kobold voice in general, kobold voice. Wow, that's weird to say. I did not want to be or automatically, become the Chris Perkins spurt kobold, which everyone knows.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's become almost like a de facto voice of a kobold because it's like been the kobold that's been most pushed to the forefront in any way, shape, or form. So while there was a similarity, I wanted to make sure I was just different from that. And I'm gonna put this away for a second because I wanted it right here. I wanted it to stay, but wow, it does sound like Elmo a little bit, just a little. And not really Elmo. I just wanted to make it sound scratchy. I wanted it to sound like it's a little entity with a lot of boisterous messiness. But no, not Elmo, but now I see it. Now I hear it.
So not intentional, but definitely worked. Squeaky, hi Squeaky, is wondering, kind of going back to what we were just talking about a second ago about kind of responding to some of those comments we've seen. You are talking about things said in the chat. How does that affect you personally?
Yeah. Again, inside baseball, we've always said this, that there are real people on the other side of the camera, and people don't kind of realize that, and sometimes it's tough. I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest, right? When you invest blood, sweat, tears into something like this, and months and months and months of work and resources and all of that, and then kind of it gets torn apart in comments. It's tough. I'll be completely honest, right? And you have your moments when you read those negative comments, or even constructive comments that you're aware of. But the truth is, you get up the next day and you say, listen, there's another episode coming. We did our best. We did exactly. We're proud of it. And no matter what people think about it or feel about it, I'm proud of what we did. That's to say, and there's a small percentage, and typically, the naysayers or the rules lawyers are typically the smaller voice. In size, there's so many more people. I mean, across both channels, we're nearing, I think, 30,000 views on the first episode across D&D and Realmsmith. So, like, lots of people are watching and lots of people are enjoying it. But yeah, it's tough sometimes. I just, for everybody who's commenting out there and saying things, I would again, just keep in mind that there are real people on the other side of these characters and on the other side of the screen with real emotions and real feelings. And we love constructive criticism. It's important. We love it. And there's lots of people who have said, listen, I've loved the show. It's really exciting, but I'd love to see this. That's something that is really constructive and great, but again, I've been doing this for a while now, right? And we've had people say things like, Jason's just the worst. Like, and again, you let it roll off. You realize, you know what? That's one person's opinion behind a keyboard, and we're just going to keep forward. If you allow that stuff to really get you down, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. So, but I thank you, everyone, for everyone who loved it and gave us that effective criticism. And in fact, I was talking to Joel today about putting together a bit of a forum where people can give us constructive criticism for the next go around to improve on whatever we feel needs to be improved on. So.
We've got a question from Jesse Wells.
I'd love to hear Omega answer that, actually.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'll be honest. I am in the very, 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 very small percentage of the population who could not give two flying fucks about what somebody says on the internet, in a comment or whatever. I'm not saying that I don't look at it, but it's just like at the end of the day, you made a decision, and the decision was done, and it's gone, and it's out there. There's nothing you can do to change that. You can have your opinions about anything, but how will I let a couple of words spoken on a digital space affect my reality this moment, right? So I'm not saying I don't look at it, and I get that, you know, some people take trying to say this as nicely as possible. Yeah, it doesn't affect me. I get where it comes from, and I get some of it's constructive criticism. Some people are just assholes. But I refuse to let it get me down, because we're all human. We all make mistakes. And somebody's going to always find a negative in anything, even if this was perfect.
Absolutely.
Like at the end of the day, some people could have been like, who is Omega out of all of these people? And don't get it twisted, I solidify my space in this community point blank periodic table. But people could have been like, he's not Deborah, he's not blank, or why is he on this group? They could have easily said that. And you go, okay, I still got that check though. So like at the end of the day, who's failing?
Yeah.
Not me. Yeah. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna let it get me down.
Yep. 100%.
That's me.
Love it.
Yeah. Just a reminder to everybody out there, we're all people.
Yeah.
And we're all humans, and if you say otherwise, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Yeah.
So let me get my mask. It's in here somewhere.
Jay, I'm curious if you could have like switched the script, and maybe Omega was the DM and you were one of the players, what would you have wanted to play?
Oh, let's see. That's a great question. Like class-wise, or if I were to pick an Idle Champions character to play?
Yes.
Either
one.
Yeah. I haven't thought about it a lot, actually. I mean, who doesn't want to play Drizzt? Let's be honest. And he is an Idle Champions character, and somebody will play him at some point. Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. And if I tell you, I'm biased because I've seen who does well. So
well, I'll ask you again after the show's up.
Yeah. Ask me at the end of it all.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, then I will have to ask my next question. Also, I was going to ask you, CB, when, like, if you could do a rematch, who would you want to fight? But I think we probably need to ask that at the end as well.
No, I can ask this now because it's actually the person I want to fight has already fought. I personally would have loved Esmeralda and Villania to go against each other, and then Human to go against Beetle. That's what I would.
That would have been super.
Because Human and Beetle are both rogues in a way, so we've been seeing like the different aspects of being a rogue. Whereas Esmeralda and Villania are both wizards in a way, but they have different elements in that spot. I know why Esmeralda went against Beetle, and that's fine. But I personally would have said Human versus Beetle. And that would have been hilarious because Matt's already a mess. Then him having to go against 3 kobolds in the trench coat would have just been gold.
Yeah,
would have been gold.
And that RP would have been gold because the two of you already play off of each other so well. You have such 100%. Big personalities.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been super fun. All right. Oh, boy. T-Rob is asking if we could have a Vistani Elder battle next season.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
We can just do that anyways.
Right?
I think we should totally have a Elder pit fight next time we're in Barovia.
Alan Wilkinson says maybe teams of 2 for season 2, or maybe player versus monster.
We have ideas. That's all I'll say.
All righty. Very fun stuff. Well, I think we're almost about halfway through the episode, so I think I kind of want to switch to talking about Tides of Wildemount now.
Sure.
We have been gone for some time. How many months now?
Many.
6?
I've
More?
lost track.
Me too.
More than 6, yeah.
Time is a weird soup. So how are you guys feeling now that you are finally out of Barovia? Are you kind of missing Barovia? Are you excited to be back in Wildemount? How you guys feeling? Let's start with Omega on this one.
Uh, so I have been excited to get into Wildemount just because, um, I don't know. I told Brandon and Nora in our Zoom last episode, but Tides of Wildemount was the reason I wanted to work with Discord with Realmsmith, because it was the first thing I saw, and I remember seeing like the opening and seeing everything. I was like, "What is this? What is this group?" Actually, the very first thing I saw was on Instagram, and it was the art pieces of all the characters, and I was like, "This is cool." I was like, "Who is this group?" And then I started looking into it, and I was like, "Oh, they're doing some nice stuff." And it wasn't really, like Matt Mercer or Lillard or anybody else being involved. I didn't really care about that. But I was like, they seem like a really cool group, and I don't know who reached out first, but I was like, yeah, they seem nice. So I was excited to get into the space that made me enjoy this company, this group of storytellers. So yeah, that's what I was mostly just excited about. Just see what this. So I like, what the heck was this turtle and all these people? Like, what makes this what it is? So I was excited to see all that happen.
It's great.
How about you, Jay, as a DM?
Yeah. I wasn't ready to come back to Tides after season 3 of Into the Mist. I felt really kind of, let's just say, held back by the mists. I felt captivated by it. I felt like we weren't done the story at that point, which is why we extended and did a second season. I was very ready to come back to Wildemount after last season. I think it was a great ending to Into the Mist. Awesome cliffhanger and perfect kind of break in the story to where we're going next for Mists. And Wildemount, there's a lot of, let's just say that there's more pressure in Wildemount for me to get it right, because there isn't a set storyline that you're following. You're leaning on the incredible work that Matt and team did on the Guide to Wildemount, but then you're also like, I'm looking into old episodes and Critical Role wiki and making sure that we put little Easter eggs from the campaigns in there. Hillary being our resident lore master, and now Omega being one of the Smith Guardians. Both of them have a great love for Critical Role. So, there's a lot of, I'd say, pressure, because we want to make it feel real. We want to make it still feel like the same world, but it is our own story. And yeah, I was very excited to come back in. I think there's some really fun stuff happening in the Discord, which I'm actually incredibly excited about, which has actually informed the season. And usually it's the other way around. Like, I've chosen what's going to happen in the stream, and then that will kind of inform what happens in the Discord. It's flipped this season. What's happening in the Discord is absolutely informing what we're going to do in the stream. So yeah, no, I was happy to come back to Tides. I think the lighter tone and the kind of more adventurous, sort of fun aspect of it, I think is a great departure for sure.
And I apologize. I want to kind of go back a little bit to talking about champions, because I've heard rumors of an infamous bout of karaoke that may have happened. And I need to know more about this.
Yes. Yeah. So on what night was it? The Tuesday night? I can't remember exactly what night it was.
I think it was Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah, it was after the second night of filming. Omega and Nora.
No, it wasn't. It was the first night of filming.
After the first night? Yeah.
Because I left after the first night.
After the first night of filming, after the second night of production. Because we were there
second night of production.
So
exactly.
We all went to a karaoke bar. It was Nora and Omega and Becca and her husband and Mark and Joel and I. Right? That's everyone. We all went out to karaoke, and it was something else. Let me tell you.
It was a good time.
Omega, give me your thoughts first, and then I'll
I won't speak it along. I do want to talk about Tides. It was good. It was a lot of fun. It was again, just being able to vibe with people safely. We all had masks on, and we had a private room, so we went around people. I feel the need to always you don't have to. You do not have to explain every choice you freaking make. You don't. I'm over it. But I I really enjoyed just being able to spend time with these people that I hadn't really got the chance to spend time with. We got some talented people. I'm still going to smack Joel next time I see him. From his just the vocals on that man are unreal, unreal, and I have video proof. Yeah, just a good time, a real good time. Also, Jason made me sing, and I'll always love you, and I hate him for it.
Let me tell you something, okay? Omega's talking about Joel, but we played a little game. I was like, hey guys, let's all play a game, knowing the only reason I played this game was for the song I was going to give Omega.
I hit it.
And he sang, what did you sing before that just blew my freaking mind?
Was it Ordinary People?
No. That did too, but it
Superstition?
was... that did too. I thought there was something else.
I don't remember that.
It all blew my mind. But anyways, so I was... so I sat there and I made a game. I was like, you have to choose a song for another person to sing. And I chose "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston for Omega, and he's like, "I hate you, but I'll do it because I love the song."
It's like I'm not gonna hurt my own. Yeah,
killed it. I left there, and I said to turn Joel, I was like, I don't know about y'all, but Omega's my American Idol because, like, honestly, anyways, you're unreal. It was unreal.
I'll just say the reason I said I hate him is that because that song, you gotta have you gotta be ready vocally for that song. Yeah, and I'd already sang like 3 songs, and I was like, my voice is not ready for this one. So you make me do it now.
Yeah, there was something else you did that was unreal. I can't remember what it was. I thought it was a female-led song.
I did "When You Believe" from Prince of Egypt.
Oh,
but I don't think it was that one either.
I think that was that one.
I don't know.
It was something else. It just blew my mind. Anyways, great times had by all. Karaoke's always awesome. I think there's video proof on people's Instagrams if you go to... I think Becca maybe posted some stuff. I know Mark did. I have video that I should probably post at some point.
Yes, you should.
It was so good.
All right. So that was a fun little jaunt down memory lane.
Yes.
Thank you for indulging me. I just wanted to know more about that. So back to Tides. Omega, I don't know how much you can reveal. I have so many questions about your character, but we're so new into it. I'm sure you don't want to say much, but I have some thoughts about what his subclass might be.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
I mean, context clues.
Well, he's really good with his blades, and there was some performance involved. And I personally play a blade singer in my home campaign, and I was wondering if maybe we are somewhat related there.
I mean, I will say this first and then answer the question. When someone said, "Where are you?" or "Who are you?" or "Where can I see you?" he said, "Follow the song of the blade."
Yes, that was so cool.
Yes, he's a blade singer. And I specifically made him a blade singer because if you look at the group right now, they have an artificer, a wizard, a warlock, a bard, and a fighter, which is fine. But most of those people are not martial. They can get close probably, but most of them aren't martial. And I knew that I wanted to play someone who could get up close. Also, now I wanted a slight difference from Noggins because Noggins is all support from the back. And I said, I'm not healing these people again. I almost played a cleric. A cleric almost happened. I guess decided against it at the last second. But I knew I wanted somebody who could be up front, but I also I wanted to have some of that spell versatility. I just enjoy that. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, ooh. Yeah, I have not played a blade singer in a long time, and now I get to actually play a bardic blade singer because a lot of people use the blade singer for the aspects that it gives. They don't really lean into the performance side of it. And I was like, no, I'm going to intentionally lean into the performance side of it. I could think that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, he is, for what we know, a blade singer. And yes, his swords are very important to him. I don't want to say it like that, but yes, he is one with the sword for sure.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see where that goes and see how you get to utilize them, because I think that blade singers are kind of underutilized. And I think this is going to be super
Well,
different.
especially because it's, and just to say one more thing, it's slightly different because Esmeralda's also a blade singer, technically.
Technically true.
But I wanted to show the different side of a blade singer, one that actually uses their blades and went in and did stuff. So,
yes.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's really cool about D&D is I feel like you could have an entire party of the same, even subclass, and they could all be very different characters that fight very differently.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So that's super cool. You have found an interesting party, a menagerie of sorts. How is oh dear, remind me of your character's name again. Zenric. How's Zen feeling about these new people? Any first observations or impressions?
I won't say a lot, only because we actually really haven't had a chance. We haven't even learned his name in game yet. Because I mean, and it's okay. This was the first episode, and we needed to solidify the party once more.
Yes.
So I came in halfway through, and then even then, we haven't really had a moment to be like, I'm blank. So I'm not gonna go too deep into how he feels. But I mean, from what's been revealed so far, he likes adventure. He likes a thrill. And he can see that these people are going to be quite thrilling. Like, especially because the first thing he saw, he looked over and saw them on that wanted paper. So he's like, interesting. But that's why he also called out Sierra. He was like, you're not on the paper. Why are you here? And you're obviously with them. And so he just wanted to just see what was going on. Don't want to freak out the people on the paper because that might be a totally different outcome. But he just wanted to see. He was curious, just being social. But yeah, I have many excitements about the potentiality of this character.
Yeah, and he's such a different dynamic than every other character, so I'm really interested to see how that all kind of fits in and becomes another big piece of the puzzle. Jay, why the heck is Gazielle being so incredibly secretive and cryptic about her new purpose?
Yeah, it all will be revealed. I'm going to be cryptic, secretive about my purpose.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to give an answer there.
Yeah, sorry. You'll find out. There's method to my madness, and it's not just because I don't want to do her accent.
Australian accents are hard.
They are hard.
Those O's are hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, Christopher B. and I have a very similar question for both of you. Did you think they were actually going to get through those gates unharmed?
No. I mean, I had prepared for a number of different eventualities. But man, Plunk and his D&D Beyond dice, let me just tell you something. That was unreal.
Was that a record?
Yeah.
For a single player?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was watching. It's like it was all happening, and it was like, and Nat 20 isn't an automatic success. It is in combat when you're attacking, but like it just makes it a lot harder for it not to be a success. But like the scene and stuff, and the issue was it wasn't just a Nat 20 for a 21. It was like 30 or 29, and it's like, how do you say no to that?
Yeah.
And Zenric was watching. Because he was like, he's like, this isn't going to end well. He's like, he's from the Empire. This isn't going to end well. Yeah, and he's very surprised it did.
Yeah, and there was more like fun ways that could have gone that I had planned. But again, this was Plunk's opportunity to shine. This was his moment, and he did, and he pulled it off. And what better way to reward a character than to allow them to just basically walk through. It was great. And his role play was fantastic too, which is another great thing.
So good.
Yeah, it was so fun. His accents, man. Joel has a thing for accents.
He was having way too much fun bossing the party.
Get in line.
But that's why, like, later and exactly, I recognized that this was Plunk. Not even know, I don't know Plunk, but like you're a bard, you're changeling. So like deception and those things are, I just know they're part of your character, your core. This was this character's chance to truly shine and do what they do best.
Yeah.
So I mean, Zenrik wasn't going to jump in, but that's why eventually he was like, "Do I notice this is off?" Because like this has to be he's doing everything wrong at this point.
Yeah.
Like being so like, you know, berating the other people who are just trying to talk to him. Apparently the guy had like a really close friend and he's blowing him off, and Zimmer's just like, okay. Okay, what's happening?
Yeah, and honestly, from a DM perspective, like behind the screen view, for me it was like, okay, there's one individual who is escorting all of these dangerous people. You know, you would have to roll incredibly high. And in that moment, I even talked about it in the break, it was like, in that moment, you're thinking, okay, this is not believable. Like, anybody with any sort of understanding and common sense would say there's no way that this one person is escorting all these people and it's fine. Then it was like, okay, well, what else plays? Well, okay, there's rank, and there's fear, and there's the ability to command respect. And so that's the way I played it more. I played it where the gate guards were like, you know, hey, you know, this is a superior officer. I'm not going to challenge him because I'm afraid for my life. I'm just going to let this go, rather than, oh yeah, I believe that he is, and so on and so forth. So it's tough sometimes to kind of figure out, okay, this doesn't make sense. Like, even though he rolled a 30 or whatever, 32 sometimes, this doesn't make sense, but it's a success. So how do I, especially against what they were rolling, which was really low. So yeah, it's a fun little exercise when that kind of stuff happens.
That, to me, when I'm DMing, is one of the hardest things to figure out how to do, is when something really doesn't make sense, but the dice are like, nope, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And then you have to make it make sense. I mean, when I was watching, I was like, okay, these guys probably think that he's on some sort of crazy secret mission and he's not allowed to reveal things. I think that you played it off quite well.
Thank you.
I'm not sure who this question is from, but it's similar to a question that I had. The question is, was the scroll actually the writ the Grinners had planned for him to use?
Yeah.
And I was wondering, didn't they receive some paperwork that was supposed to help them get through the gate?
No. I looked for that. Again, it was a long time ago. It was like half a year ago. So I was looking to see if they actually got the paperwork because I thought there was talk about it, but I watched the whole episode when they were planning what they were going to do, and there was no discussion regarding papers or anything like that. They were just going to basically trust Plunk. And I was like, okay. And it worked, actually, which is crazy, because the whole time I was like, yeah, okay, that's going to work. 26, 32, 34. All right, well, I guess it's working.
All right, We got to see two very interesting performers around that area. Obviously, one of them was the incredible Zin. The other one was a gentleman named, what was it, Lenny? Omega, do you think there's any chance that maybe Zin and Lenny have performed together at some point in the past?
Yes. I'm making an executive decision. They were actually probably part of a duo who used to play in a local coffee shop.
They were not.
And they were, and
it's
Lenny,
not a thing.
And Lenny used to sing while Zin used to toss.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
A very beautiful, beautiful thing.
I shan't believe this. No, I don't think so, because a big part of me was I wanted to play a bard that didn't rely on their voice. I wanted to play a performer, I'll say, who didn't rely on their voice. And with the blade singing, I was like, oh, he's going to be like a juggler. He's going to be like a dancer, like a sword dancer. Yeah. That's very much what he is. And while you can have other people sing with you, the vibe I got from Lenny was solo artist who, you know, has people kind of backing up every now and then. And that's not.
Lenny plays
that's
all
not
his own
Zen.
Instruments. He plays all his own instruments on his album. Yeah.
That's not. I'm dead. And that's not Zen. Zen is very much, you know, get the crowd to like start a beat with them and just kind of go and use those movements to have fun. That's that.
Cool.
And I'll say there is a hint to. It's not really a spoiler or anything like that. It didn't affect much. But like when I play variant humans, I'll say that's what his race is. When I play varied humans, I give them a reason to be a variant, and 9 times out of 10, that's having a parent of a different race. That's not like a half elf or a half orc, so like that. So there are hints to part of his other heritage based on some of the things that he does. It wasn't a lot last episode, but there is something that very clearly goes, oh. So you can see, you'll see.
I will be keeping my eyeballs out for that now.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask you then, Jay. How did you come on the idea of bringing in Lenny?
Yeah, it's funny because he's obviously part of an organization, which we've sort of revealed in game. I don't think it's a spoiler to say, Omega, close your ears, although you obviously already know. They're part of the Golden Grin, the Grinners, right? Yeah. And Plunk is a member of that organization. As you've seen, he's collected things and gotten songs and secret messages and poetry and all this kind of stuff. So obviously they're a organization of bards and of musical talented performing folks. And so I was like, well, this person would perform too. And then I don't know why Lenny Kravitz just came to mind. I was like, I'm totally going to rewrite the song to make it fit, and it worked. And then the Zemnian woman part, I think Omega died at that point, but
I died before that, and I was in the tomb by that point.
I was in the tomb. That's good.
That was so funny.
I had planned that at the end of the last season of Tides. Like that was in my notes. I had written him in like way back, so I was pleasantly surprised to open my notes again and go like, oh yeah, Lenny, yeah.
Omega, how much have you reviewed? We've talked about this a little bit, but I'm sure the audience is curious. How much have you reviewed the previous seasons of Tides, or have you left it?
I watched half of the last episode. That's it. I remember starting the first episode. I know they were like on the beach or something, but like I didn't stay through it. But I intentionally said I don't want to know more about these characters than I need to. So I've talked to Jason. Obviously I have character stuff going, and every character has a backstory. So I've talked to Jay about things I might need to know, events I might need to know about, things of that nature. But I intentionally want to learn these characters as Zen gets to learn them. So I don't have any knowledge coming in. It's so different from Mist because I knew a lot about Crystal Strahd before I played Godfrey, and then even more so when I actually joined the cast. But I didn't want to know a lot with Zenrik. So
that's cool. So you get to learn them organically.
Yep.
Oh, that'll be really fun. I always really love those conversations when you're like on watch together and it's like, is there anything you want to talk about? Start bringing up things. And,
and that's the thing. We have not, we had a first episode, obviously, but like, we don't know anything about Zenrik other than he's a performer.
Yeah,
we're about to go to the camp, and whatever happens goes from there.
I'm very interested in what this camp might be, but obviously you probably can't say anything about that because we're going there next week. Well, I think that's about all the questions. We have a very important question from Emily Check. Jason, are you going to be including oop stones and cellobones in Tides?
What are oop stones and cellobones? What do I know what that is?
Oh my gosh. It's some, to know? Yes, there are some items that that Matt created for Wildemount. There's a couple of adorable things. If
I remember correctly,
oop stones basically you activate and it's like a fart smell.
I remember
and
that.
then
that's right.
Celebrones like just have like glow sticks basically.
Glow sticks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I want to give a huge shout out to Chad Rowe, who is in the chat.
A good
friend of ours. So Chad is an incredible tattoo artist and a sponsor of Champions of the Realm, and he did that tattoo on Omega.
Oh, that's sick.
Omega's first tattoo ever.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love the one unbroken line.
And he killed it.
That's what I wanted.
So good. He did all the photography for us on set, and it was like honestly, I was like, hey dude, as part of your sponsorship, you want to give some time and just take some photos. Like, and I knew he was a decent photographer. I had no idea he's like an incredible photographer. So he knocked it out of the park. And I actually haven't shown these publicly. I haven't taken pictures of them and posted them, but these are my tattoos that Chad did. That is my my rogue tattoo.
What does it say?
Master of Shadows.
Oh, cool.
And then oh, it's upside down. Oh no, how am I gonna do this? This is my Ranger one that I got done before. And this is my Paladin one that I did, Protector of Virtue.
Dang, Jay, I didn't know you had 3 of these already.
My son's name was on there.
And you finally got Ethan's name on your arm?
And then maybe a Realmsmith symbol.
Okay, I am pissed that you haven't even told us about these.
I know. You guys should have seen them in the millions of calls we've been on, but yeah. Anyways, he did a fantastic job. I'm gonna get a whole D&D sleeve that he's gonna work on every show that we kind of hang out together on. So very excited to yeah. But he's awesome. So massive shout out to Chad and all the awesome work that he's doing and done for us. And yeah, great.
I'm meant to ask when we were talking about champions, who was the other person with Human with Joel?
Chad.
Was that Chad? I was wondering.
Chad. Yeah. That was Chad.
Oh, yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah,
he had some really beautiful ink on his arm that I could see.
Oh yeah, he's all tatted.
All right.
Actually,
well,
my kobold sibling.
He actually also gave my daughter her first tattoo in Philly.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Which was really cool. Yeah, Lily and a rose. So, anyways, much love, buddy. Love you. Miss you. Okay, moving on.
All right. Well, we have a couple of fun things to show you before the episode gets over. We are doing a drawing, and we have a sneak peek. Which do we want to do first, Jay?
Let's do the drawing first. So, Omega, can you do the roll that I asked you to do earlier?
Yes.
So we're rolling. So what this is, as Omega's rolling. So every week, Forge Gaming, who is the
3d10 or 2d10.
So it's a D3 and then
got that.
percentile.
And
then a percentile. So basically what we did is, a lot of you know we have a fantasy bracket for Champions of the Realm where you could like make your predictions, and that ran until the beginning of the show. And Forge Gaming is giving away a set of their dice that you can choose up to a certain dollar amount. I think it's up to the $50 amount or something like that every single week. And we're going to announce them on this show because, of course, Forged is awesome enough to be a sponsor of the show. Anyways, and so this is the first 2 episodes worth of drawings. We will reach out to those people, but we were going to announce them live here. Okay, what number is that, Omega?
Do you want the D3 first or the...
Yeah.
Okay, so 2...
So that's 200. 221?
Yes.
So 221 is...
Paula.
Paula.
Damn.
That's all I have. Paula. Paula, you are the winner of the dice set. I am going to make sure that we get that out to Forge Gaming so they can get you some dice of your choice. And also,
this is my Forge Gaming dice.
Oh, their dice are amazing.
Yeah, this is my Human. This is at least one part of Human dice.
It's amazing. And then if we can do the second drawing, please. Omega.
Do that again? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. 125.
125. That is Zach Ogre.
Come on,
Zach
Ogre.
Ogre is the winner of the second set of dice for the Human/Vlania episode with Omega. There you go. Zach Ogre and Paula, you are the winners. We will send you all the information that we need. We'll pass your emails on to Forged, and they will get that information to you. Thank you so much for joining. And you can't still enter the bracket. I just saw somebody ask. It ended at the beginning, but again, next time we do this, we'll have more time for the bracket, and you'll be able to enter your predictions then. But you can see the bracket at championsoftherealm.com. You can see who's winning and how many predictions were made and all of that kind of stuff and where the standings are at, actually. In fact, I can look at the standings right now. And Esmeralda's at a +3, and Vlania's at a +1 when it comes to the rankings. So Esmeralda's first just because of the scores. So basically, the people who we scored it rounds 1. So that is there. And then the predictions ranking, there's a lot of actually people. Doesn't matter because there's a ton of people who are at the 14th place of ranking because it's only been 2 episodes. But as we go, more will be eliminated, and then we're going to do a draw for, I think it's a $200 gift card for Forged Gaming at the end for the person that we're going to draw it from the people who got the whole thing right.
Nice.
So we will pass that on. And that leads me actually to an announcement that Forged Gaming is not only the sponsor of Aftermath, but they're also moving into a product sponsor. They're not only a sponsor of this, they're not only a sponsor of Champions of the Realm, but they're also moving into product sponsorship for Tides of Wildemount for this season.
Ooh, love that!
So
Yay.
We're super pumped. We're thankful, and it's probably too soon to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Look for Tides cast dice coming soon. Potentially. Very much a possibility sometime this season. So you'll be able to pick dice that have been selected specifically for each cast member with Realmsmith branding and stickers and stuff. So anyways, super fun. Going to be awesome. Thank you, Forged, for all that you guys have done for us and how much you've come alongside us. And we're super pumped to continue this awesome sponsorship with you guys and partnership. Okay, without further ado, we'll show the interview. We'll come back. We'll talk about it for a second, and then we'll be done for the night. So what we're showing tonight is the sneak peek. We have released this on Twitter, I think, and YouTube just today, though. So some of you may not have seen this, but this is the interview for next episode with Alicia Marie and Deborah Ann Wall. Here you go.
We are here at Champions of the Realm. I have been playing Dungeons & Dragons for just a little under 10 years. I'm fairly new to this, but I fell hard and fast. And yeah, I think, I was one of those kids that just loved make-believe, and I do that for a living, and so this fit right in.
I didn't start playing actively until 2019. And I actually have a pretty long story about why I am deaf. And I've always followed the game. I've been friends with Satine Phoenix for, I don't know, over a decade. And she always wanted me to play, and I just never thought that I could because of the fact that I couldn't hear, even though friends did say, we will make it work for you. But I was still had a lot of anxiety around it. And then I had cochlear implant surgery at the end of 2019, and I hit the ground running. I think my first D&D game ever was live. I'm not kidding you. And I mean, it's everything I've ever wanted. I love the idea that it's fantasy, it's characters, you get to play with your friends, you get to imagine things. It's like stepping into a better world than we live in.
So Jamila is a barbarian, which means that combat is actually fairly straightforward for her. But I think rage obviously is going to be very important. This, I don't have to worry about economy so much. You just go for it. Who cares if you're exhausted at the end? And also I think it's going to be more about clocking Barrowin and what choices she makes so that I can tell, am I doing a ranged fight? Do I need to close distance? So I'm going to be watching her moves, I think.
The skills that will definitely come into play today would be, is she listening somewhere? Spirit Guardians. Dodge is going to come in. I actually have 2 combo spells that I've come up with for myself, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'll give you an idea. First one is called Kitchen Sink. Second one is called Velcro. They work together. I'm not going to tell you what they do, though.
So Barrowin is a cleric. So in preparation, I think I'm trying to figure, how much am I going to rely on my high hit points when Barrowin can heal, Barrowin can cast from a distance. That's not really something that Jamila can do. So it's going to be about closing that distance, getting, perhaps going for a grapple, perhaps attacking recklessly if I'm really on the ropes, but we'll have to build to that.
Okay, one thing I definitely know about Jamila, my opponent, is she's being played by the amazing Deborah Ann Wall, which is daunting for me because she's one of the queens of the entire community and Dungeons and Dragons in general. I've watched her in things for years before I was able to actually play. So even getting to play against her is fun, but daunting, but exciting, but anxiety-inducing. I also know that she's playing one of my favorite classes, which is Barbarian. I like melee. I mean, the good thing about Barwin is that she's melee. She's a war domain cleric, so she's gonna go into Jamila's space too. I know that Jamila is here as a machine to swing and hit over and over and over again. So Barwin's just gonna have to come at her with everything she has, that's it. I mean, the good thing is I know barbarians. Like the back of my butt, I know barbarians. That really came out weird, but I like it anyway. Let's keep it, let's roll with that. Yeah, I do know barbarians very well, so I'll be prepared for what she has coming for me. I hope she's prepared for what I have coming for her.
So I'm playing for the Foundation Fighting Blindness today. My husband is blind, and so we do a lot of outreach for helping people understand what that condition is, and doing some research into treatments and cures and just devices that help aid people in that situation.
I'm actually playing for a charity I adore. It's called Pause with a Cause. They're located in Michigan, and they train alert and assistance dogs for people who are deaf and hard of hearing. Basically, they help to improve the independence and quality of life of people that are deaf and hard of hearing. So, of course, this charity means a lot to me. So I'm going to play with all I have because I know what I'm playing for.
Amazing. There it is. So good.
Yes. I like how at the beginning they're looking at each other all tough and then they go in for a big hug.
I know, they go hug. Yeah, we had to add the hug in there. It is a great episode. It's going to be so much fun. Make sure, actually, I don't know if we have those links available. Shad. Almost called you Chad. Shad. But if we can post the charity links for both Alicia, and Deborah in the chat, that would be fantastic. And then you guys can go ahead and at your leisure donate. We have GoFundMes that you can get links actually from our website. If you go to championsoftherealm.com, you can click on where their charities are and you can donate. Also, Omega was playing for Color for Change, right?
Color of Change, yeah.
Color of Change, sorry. And Satine was playing for Jasper's Game Day. And so you guys can go check those out. And every little bit helps and counts. We're doing this for a reason and to help those out there. And just remember that when we get things wrong. Just kidding. Hillary, over to you.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for tonight. I think that's everything we wanted to cover. So as usual, before I do my thanks, is there anything you guys would like to add or anything you want to talk about that you're excited about coming up?
There's a lot happening. There's a lot, and I can't talk about any of it yet because I haven't signed contracts yet. There's a lot happening next week, and then there's a lot happening. How to say this without giving it away completely? There's a certain show that's coming out in 2 weeks that I'll be doing something for weekly. That's all.
Ooh.
That's all I can say.
Well, I'm intrigued. I cannot wait to see.
There's a lot of cool things happening. A lot of cool. So I guess look at my socials and see what's going on.
And that's Critical Bard on most socials right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Jay, I think we know what you're excited about, but is there anything else you want to add?
I'm excited about all of it. It's so good. We're living our best life here, working our butts off, especially Joel, who is currently in the editing dungeon, getting these episodes out on a weekly basis. But a lot of hard work has gone into what we do. Check out the Discord, guys. This we didn't talk about it this episode. I wish we had more time to do that. But our Smith Guardians have worked so incredibly hard to bring you incredible content for the Discord. If you become a patron at a number of different levels, there's so many amazing things, including the ability this season to have your own dwelling that you live in, that you can furnish with the things that you buy and that you craft. Crazy.
Who doesn't love base building?
Yeah, it's so good. And then with the Technomancers and what they've done for Avray to automate all of our crafting and gathering, and it's next level stuff, to the point where, you know, D&D Beyond and us are having conversations about the things that we're doing, and they're excited to hear more. So, like, thank you so much to the incredible team at Realm Smith, the Smith Guardians and the Technomancers, and all of you guys and the Realm Watchers who do an amazing job and fight the good fight every day. And then to my team on Champions of the Realm, and Joel and I and those folks, to all the sponsors, of course, and to all of the cast, including Omega Jones, who obviously you will be seeing every week all over Realm Smith's stuff. Thanks, guys, so much for everything.
All right. Well, on that wonderful note, huge thanks to our amazing sponsor, Forged Gaming. Thank you so much for everything you do and being an even bigger part of what we do now, it sounds like. That's very exciting. Of course, thank you so much to my guests. Omega, thank you. Jason, thank you. It's always an honor to be able to sit here and talk with you guys. Huge thanks to our Realm Watchers, Technomancers, and Weavers of all varieties. You add so much value to what we do. Of course, thank you so much to my fellow Smith Guardians. We have been putting in the work, and I'm super excited for everything that we've created together. I'm so proud of everything that we're making. Officially want to, I know that we've already done this, but I haven't personally done this. Officially want to welcome Omega to the team. Super excited to have you. And of course, a huge thanks to every single one of our viewers. We literally could not do any of this without you. Without you, we would be talking into the void, and that's not fun. It's not fun to play D&D with the void. So thank you so much for coming to all of our things and supporting us in all the different ways that you do. And with that, we will see you on Monday as I figure out a clever way to end the show for Tides. I haven't figured that out yet. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.